Greetings and welcome. Last week was week 1 of my November Thankful series, with Collecting Medics kicking it off. This week there will be 2 channels honored, and these 2 channels are huge baseball fans. They represent the National League Central, and the hobby is in a better place with these 2 gentlemen in it. The first channel I'm going to talk about, when I was thinking about what I was going to say about them, the words perfect balance kept popping into my mind. And ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, the channel I am talking about is David M. Most channels on YouTube fall into categories, and card channels usually fall into either strictly modern card channels or vintage card channels. David M is one of the few channels that shows the perfect balance of vintage and modern. He's a huge Cubs fan and Nashville Predators fan, and his collection shows it. But David is a huge baseball and hockey fan as well. And when I view David's videos, his collection precisely shows that fandom. From paying homage to those who played in the past, to the ones who he may have drafted on his fantasy team, or who he just loves watching. Every card he buys and shows just absolutely fits in perfectly with his collection. And the more I watch his videos and see his pickups, it's just blatant how his new items slide into and pair with what he already has. I think a lot of collectors want to have that mentality, myself included, and it's something we strive for. David does it with ease. Just another example of perfect balance. Perfect balance of vintage and modern that he shows, and his collection is a perfect balance of cards that represent who he is. And kind of a side note, I wouldn't consider David M to be a storytelling channel, but when he does a storytelling video, it's captivating. He's a great low-key storyteller. I say this a lot, and it's because I truly mean it, but I don't think anyone should be defined by our collection. I see a lot of comments that say, I like so-and-so, they have a great collection. I just find it a little sad that some of us are only viewed by others of what we show or what we have. David M has a great collection, but more importantly, he's a great guy. If you're as lucky as I am to have connected with David, you know this. His comments are sincere on videos, he's generous, and he supports many channels. Just a couple of weeks ago, he did a VR Mageddon where he put out several VRs and supported so many channels, giving each and every one their due. David, I am fortunate to have connected with you. I am fortunate that I am one of those lucky ones that I have mentioned that you leave comments on my videos. The YouTube experience for me is better because of you. And I just thank you for your friendship, and I sure hope we can meet someday. Now it's time to raise that Jolly Roger flag and wave the terrible towel for my good friend Mike at Scoots Collectibles. Scoots Collectibles channel description says he's just an average guy that loves sports cards. And that may be true to the average viewer or person. But when you get to know Mike, he's an extraordinary guy who loves sports cards. Mike is just a true collector. He doesn't get hung up on different grading companies or even whether a card is graded or raw. He loves the hobby for what it is, and his channel to me is refreshing to see. Mike's a Pittsburgh guy. Pirates, Steelers, Penguins, and his collection resembles where he's from. Out of the many great pieces of Mike's collection, I really appreciate how he's a team collector. Like player collecting, team collecting is just so fun to see come along. And when you team collect, you get such a historical perspective in your collection of those franchises. You can visually start to see dynasties or championships being built, or dynasties and championships beginning to fade. The hope of tomorrow or the nostalgia of the past, all in your collection. And Mike is building that with the Pirates, Steelers, and Penguins. It's a joy to watch. And if you hear this and think he's only a Pittsburgh collector, don't sleep on his Mike Trout collection. Check out his World Series through the years collection, his appreciation for some 90s football and Barry Sanders. There's something for everybody. All of his videos are a joy to watch. He's real. There's not any fluff or fakeness about his videos. He'll record a video after a long day and go through some cards and explain he just needed some cardboard therapy. I can 100% relate to that. He also shares the hobby with his son, which I can relate to that as well. And he's not a father and son channel, but when he does the video with his son, you can hear the happiness in his voice and the excitement in his sons. Mike enjoys the hobby, and the hobby enjoys Mike. Mike's a great guy, and he seems like a great family man. He coaches his son's baseball team, which if you've ever coached youth sports, and I know a lot of you have, but it's the most rewarding and yet thankless job. And I truly believe if you really love a sport, you need to give back to it. Mike gives back to baseball. I know I have seen countless videos where someone is opening a mail day for Mike, myself included. He's generous with his time. He's generous with his gifts. He's a great guy. He's one of my very close friends in the hobby. I know I appreciate that I can bounce some ideas off of him or ask him dumb questions that he doesn't make fun of me for asking. He's another that I haven't been able to meet in person, but sure hope that changes in the future. Mike, thank you for your friendship. Please watch Scoots Collectibles, and I promise you too will see an extraordinary guy who loves sports cards. Thank you for watching, and enjoy your collection.